Welcome to Jerez, where the race is about to get started. We are starting 17th this time, which is quite far back. But we are already 16th by the start line. Typical Red Bull livery car does not go down without a fight, but we finally get a decisive run on the inside here. The next guy is nice enough to not cover the inside into the hairpin, so that's a free pass. Then he bumps me at this very slight braking and spins to make it a 2x. Unfortunate. The final hairpin is also a very good passing spot, if the inside is open. This week was probably my first time driving at Jerez since F1 1997 on the Nintendo 64, but it turned out to be a good track for racing in this car. I get the better exit here, but this guy covers the inside. The inside always wins at that hairpin. Then he misses the apex here, so I get my foot in. With a double inside coming up, that's a solid spot to be in. This might be a good time to beg for likes and subscribers, but I don't do that stuff. I'm not entirely sure what happened here. Maybe he had a wobble or something. Either way, he gave up that spot pretty easily. Then we have someone biting the dust on the right here. Our next friend covers the inside, but he has a car in front of him, so he can't brake as late as he probably wants to. Then this guy puts on some pretty interesting moves. Let's keep this clean, he said. Easier said than done back here. In the end though, he allows me the inside where it matters, so that's nice of him. This guy seems to have completely lost his groove, and he just lets me go when I get alongside him. The next group is having a hefty brawl. We like to see that. Also nice of them to leave the inside open, so we can go full wide. Yes, thanks. I'll take it. We're pretty close now, but there's only a few corners left. Old mate disappears and reappears without leaving much space. Then I'm not sure if he lifted or just lost speed from flicking the car sideways, but he's suddenly on top of my front bumper. I barely had time to lift, but there was still enough of a shunt to send him into a spin. That's another 4x. Unfortunate, particularly for him. For me, that's a podium. We're going to need a second look at that bump though. His internet picks the wrong time to be fishy, but at least I correctly predict his positioning. He really shoots through the chicane, but the cars ahead are blocking his path. Then I must say he moves a little erratically here. In a best case scenario, he's putting a lot of faith in my ability to jump on the brakes in time. I was also really lucky to not get taken out when he crossed over. Thanks netcode. We're jumping on board for my fastest lap of the week here. As you can see, I had a proper slipstream. The lap starts with a pretty basic 90-degree corner. Just make sure to use enough space on the exit. Then turn to is more exit focused, and you want to make sure the rear end does not swing out. The double left-hander is flat out in this car, but there is always room to improve the smoothness of your line. The fast right-hander before the back straight is key for lining up passing moves. I recommend you hold back a little on entry and apex speed to get a straighter line on the exit. Too much steering angle through the latter half of the corner will hurt your exit speed. Ironically, I have a pass on my fastest lap. That just goes to show how little you lose from taking a tight line through this hairpin. Brake, turn, accelerate. It's pretty basic. Then there is a flat left into a slight brake left. There is no gain in going fast into this corner. Just keep a tight line and be ready for the right-hander that comes next. This is the trickiest corner on this track. Brake in a relatively straight line to prevent the rear from getting sideways momentum on the left to right flick. Ride the understeer out of the double right. The chicane is a little tricky too. You can take more curb on the right side than you think, which straightens up your line a little, which means you can increase your apex speed a little, which means you can take second gear instead of first, which means you have better balance on the exit, which means you can take even more speed. It's all connected. Then the final hairpin is very much like the previous hairpin, not much to report.